All right, let's kick things off. Just checking in with our energetic weather report. I'm really just going to highlight the two major aspects that I was talking about in the card pull, starting with the Aquarius new moon on February 9th. So that's going to be on Friday, and depending on where you are in the world, that may be give or take according to your time zone. But let's feel into these energies. This is a very Aquarian new moon. So Aquarius is the sign of the free thinker. And so when the moon is in this sign, we are likely to find ourselves stepping into this role. We could find ourselves longing to create more freedom, or we may feel the urge to be more of our true authentic selves. Authenticity is key. So the energy of change is also very active around this new moon. Remember I said the energies of the one card, the fire dog, was 5. 5 is the numerological frequency of change, of, a little bit of tumultuous energy, of some confusion, chaos. It's also the energy of freedom and of the rebel. So it really feels aligned here that we have some of that coming in across our spread this week, and of course being highlighted from the skies through this new moon. So this energy of change is active. So we could find something shifting abruptly. Aquarian energy can bring freedom, change, innovation, but, and I mentioned this in the empowerment pack when I talked more about these energies, it can also be a little harsh and impersonal, a little detached. So therefore, we might have to be careful of offending or being insensitive to the feelings of others. And there's an influx of unsteady energy that, could also have us feeling a little bit on edge. So the task that comes up here is to release control and to ride with the flow. Now, 𝓘𝓷𝓽𝓮, I hope I'm saying that right, the asteroid of spirit medicine, is also active under this new moon. So what that's doing is indicating a wave of healing energy. And that is further amplified by the meeting of Chiron and the North Node in the coming days. So we've really got some strong waves of healing energy flowing in from this new moon. Now, interesting because we have the star in our spread this week as a potential block or challenge, and that is a card of healing. And so it could feel challenged because, if we're feeling the potential is coming in for healing, but you got to feel it to heal it. So that can bring up some unsteady energies. So that is making a lot of sense to me between the stars and the cards to what's coming forward here in the energetic weather. So, even though we have some of this unsettling energy, we can set some intentions around our healing journey with this new moon. So ask for Chiron and 𝓘𝓷𝓽𝓮 to bring a softening and to guide you to the right medicines that you need to restore balance. So once again, I'm going to be going much deeper into this in the empowerment pack. So if you're not already with me and you want to come along, I'm going to be putting the link here for you, not too late. And you'll actually receive 2 readings this week because you're going to get your month ahead and the full moon, or new moon reading rather, for this beautiful new moon in Aquarius. So right there, that is actually ushering in the Lunar New Year. So between the 9th, 10th, so into Saturday, we celebrate the start of the Lunar New Year. In Chinese astrology, we enter into the year of the Yang Wood Dragon. So the year of the dragon is said to be a prosperous and lucky one where we can rise up to a new power. Dragon energy, of course, can bring strength, perseverance, and intelligence. And we can channel the energy of the dragon to get things done, to be productive, and to find the strength needed to move through our challenges. I talk about this a lot in the Empowerment Pack month ahead reading, strength. And it's beautiful because, again, you may have heard me mention that the tarot energy for 2024 is the strength card 8, because we are in a year 8. And so it just never stops being amazing to me how all of these different paths and all of these different ancient ways of following, here we're talking Chinese astrology, we're talking about the tarot, we're talking about numerology. They're all pointing to this overarching theme of the energy of this year. So it's really amazing to me how connected all of these different modalities and paths are. all leading to the same beautiful place of self-empowerment, awareness, being able to tap into these things as tools. So being that this is coming up here with an opportunity for us to get things done and really have that strength to move through challenges, the element of wood is connected to the season of spring. So that makes this Lunar New Year one where we can plant seeds and set intentions around what we wish to create. Well, how beautiful that it comes on the back of a new moon in Aquarius that is equally available for us to set intentions and plant seeds. And this is, of course, even further supported by the fact that we are in a number 8 year in numerology, because 8 is a very creative number that can heighten our manifestation efforts. It amplifies and magnifies all of this energy for abundance. So this is really a good time to pay attention to the thoughts and the energy that you are putting out into the world, because what you emit out, you get back, right? January was all about expectation equals magnetization. So what we expect, we magnetize in. So again, beautiful opportunity to really connect in with this energy. Further, February's words are the clearing, as you may be able to peek here in the photo. Those are my intuitively selective words, and I lost count how many times the word clear or clearing came up in all of the card pulls so far for the month ahead readings. But we got into even a little bit of feng shui tips, and there is a lot of guidance here with the Chinese. Sorry about that. I forgot to silence my phone, and that's my mama telling me that I never let her know I was home from my road trip. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I just wanted to run and play with my cards. Also bringing in this energy of clearing and releasing and making space. So we'll talk more about that as we move through the month, of course. But for now, let's get started on diving into our cards for this week. But first, I'm going to respond to my mom and let her know I'm home. All right, we are kicking things off for our week with the Monday card, which is coming in as this very handsome King of Pentacles, coming in with a message about material abundance, bringing us into the earth element, which, of course, as I've been talking about the wood dragon back there, I even have the earth elemental pulled out because it does connect in with the element associated with the wood dragon, and is bringing in this essence of grounding and coming down to earth in a very physical, tangible, material way. So I'm going to bring in some of this earthy goodness to talk a little bit about what I think is coming in here with this King of Pentacles for us collectively. This one is really highlighting for us abundance, success, and mastery in the material realm. In the tarot, when we have the court cards, the pages, the knights, the queens, and the kings, as they're traditionally called, they represent not just the title we see here, which is of course reflective of the time and the energy and consciousness when the tarot, the traditional tarot we're familiar with, was being created, but the king represents the really the mastery of the element, in this case of the pentacles aspect of the tarot. So that's bringing us into really mastering or embodying the energy of abundance, success in the material realm. And so this is giving a bit of steady, reliable, responsible, prosperous energy. And it really does bring in a strong sense of financial security and stability. So what that's saying is, if you are doing well for yourself, take this moment to bask in the glow of your accomplishments and to have gratitude for the abundance that you have. And if you aren't there yet, working on boosting your practicality, leadership, and goal-oriented mindset. And soon you will see success. And what I feel that that's speaking to, again, is this very very fortuitous energy of the 8 vibration that we have this year as we're talking about this opportunity there's a lot of highlighting around businesses and the potential for people who have businesses or who would like to start businesses. There's a great opportunity here to really have abundance and success there, which might seem a little counterintuitive to some of the, ways that we see things happening in the outside. But there is an opportunity here for us to really ground into this magical manifestation power that is available to us on so many fronts right now. So I feel like it's also bringing in this energy of focus and determination and not getting distracted. That has been a really key aspect that's been coming up a lot, is about distraction energy. And in fact, when we get into what's come forward here from the Seasons of the Witch Imbolc Oracle for our new moon, further talking about focus, which is again extending from the prior 2 lunations where I was talking about this distraction energy versus focus and determination. So this really feels like it's bringing in this grounded, stable, focused embodiment of really getting into your physical body and getting comfortable with allowing yourself to receive abundance and opening yourself up to abundance in many forms, and maybe in some cases changing your definition of what it is to be abundant and what that means in terms of not just the pentacles, but also other aspects that truly make for a very abundant and successful reality, that we can manifest for ourselves. So with that in mind, it's interesting that, again, the card that's challenging us this week talks about those things that we wish and that we would like to see materialized in our lives and how that can feel challenged or blocked. So if this is sort of the totem for what we can tune into, this vibration of embodying the pentacles, and we have that suit here twice this week, there's an opportunity here for us to really get back into a state of flow when it comes into what is abundant for us, no matter what we're facing or what we're seeing in the material world. So let's go ahead and see where that leads us, especially as it pertains to this star card we have coming in here with the Tuesday energy. But he is definitely heading up the energies that are ushering us into this week. Let's take a look at Tuesday. Tuesday, we have the beautiful star coming in here as our potential block or challenge. So in what way do we feel the potential for a block or challenge with the beautiful energies of the star? Because this is one of those major arcana cards, which actually is card 17, which is also an 8 vibration. So along with the strength card this year, the star is its counterpart. And it must be said, this is the energy of Aquarius. So, okay, it's all coming together now. So why might this week's energy with the new moon in Aquarius be challenging? Well, I talked a little bit with the energetic weather report about how there can be some bumpy energies coming in with everything that is at play building up to Friday and the days before and after that we could be feeling this energy. So that in of itself really is amazing that this card came up, because it is the Aquarius card. It is the counterpart to the strength card for the overarching energies of this year. And I know that there's even more astrological connections, but maybe we'll talk about that when I do stars and cards this week with Moonlight Soul. But I feel that here, this card, which is amplifying the vibrations of hope, renewal, healing, inspiration, and guidance, like following our North Star, how might that be blocked or challenged? And when we look at the Mystic Soul's interpretation here of this card, it's bringing in this notion to trust in the divine guidance of the universe and to have faith in the path ahead, that we are best served when we align with our higher self, embrace the power of our authentic being, and follow our dreams. Sounds amazing, but if we're feeling blocked or challenged, how might that show up? In a challenged state, this star suggests perhaps a temporary loss of direction, of purpose, of inspiration, faith, or connection to your inner guidance. It might be hard to hear that that quiet inner voice in the midst of a lot of noise on the outside or on the inside. We don't see swords on our spread this week, so I don't know that it's so much in the head. But this Aquarius is an air sign, and so there can be definitely, like I was saying, there can be the ability to be rather detached or in some way sort of disconnected. So we could feel like we could get grounded, that we'd be best served coming into our physical bodies and getting grounded, especially if we've been maybe hyper focused on certain aspirations that have us feeling out of our body. I'm feeling that for some people. But there is guidance here about rekindling your faith and seeking inner clarity and restoring your connection to your intuition and spirituality. And what is key here is to be patient and gentle with yourself as you navigate through challenging times. It's going to happen, right? We're going to have some bumpiness as we navigate. We're moving on up. Right? There is an ascension happening here. There's an opportunity to raise our vibration. And through that process, certainly there will be some challenges. Prioritize self-care, inner reflection, having a supportive spiritual practice can help to reawaken your belief in the possibilities that lie ahead. I feel like, what I love about the star is this notion of just dipping our toe in it. Sometimes if we feel like we're behind or it's taking too long, we just want to kind of full plunge right into it. And actually there's this energy of the balance here, of the flow, one toe in the water, one on the ground, getting grounded really first before we launch into things is really important. And so perhaps having a grounding practice for yourself, and this can be as fancy as you'd like or as simple as you like. I have a couple that I like and I've shared them before. I'll dig up one of my little visuals about grounding practice you can do where just wherever you are sitting, certainly outdoors is amazing if you can get out there, but even if you're just sitting indoors or wherever you are, to put 2 feet on the ground and envision roots coming from the bottom of your feet and connecting in with the earth. And there's a really beautiful practice where you can actually see them as straws that are actually pulling up into your body from the earth, all of this powerful grounded energy, and then sending back out through the tube any of what you are releasing and shedding and letting go, and allowing that to be dispersed into the earth and cleansed. So I have a little thumbnail I'm feeling drawn to share so that you can see about, if you don't have any specific grounding practice, or if you have a favorite one to share, please let me know, because I think that's really key, is in people really just finding what works for them, what fits in with their day to day, to make it a priority so that you can really not lose sight of the fact that sometimes when we're on this go, 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 that we're really disconnected from our physical body. And that really feels like it's a strong message that we're getting here from several of these cards about really connecting in. So just feeling that as well, that if you are feeling challenged there, as far as, again, hopes, dreams, wishes, healing, the things that you're feeling, are challenging or not coming easily to you. My eyes keep coming over here to this bending over backwards. So I feel like the bending over backwards. We're going to talk about this card when we get into the new moon, but I feel it's all connected because Aquarius. So, it's all here. Let's go ahead and take a look at Wednesday's card for our midweek blessing. Now, Wednesday is bringing in our midweek blessing, and this beautiful card is showing the family legacy, the energy of generations of coming together, and there is a celebration here of abundance. There's great generosity, and all of the traditional symbols of the 10 of Pentacles. But I'm feeling like this circle, this circle. And so whether it is like the circle of life, the circle of, the wheel of all of these different chapters and seasons and stages and phases and places that we are will navigate through, right? So the wheel keeps turning. And so I just feel this circular energy of, life and as I tune in here to the 10 of Pentacles from the Mystic Soul, it is talking about completion, abundance, family, fulfillment of material needs with a surplus to pass on to others. So again, there's this great abundance and there's generosity and sharing because there is enough. There's an energy of enough, and really recognizing that even when I feel challenged in, things happening the way that I'm wishing or dreaming or how I've been envisioning, there is something really beautiful here to celebrate and to hold on to and to connect in with as I feel it here. And, the 10 of Pentacles is coming into completion. 10 is the end of a cycle, right? The end of a chapter, the end of a season that then brings in a new one on the other side. So there's new beginnings coming in. And in fact, we're building up to this new moon. So we will begin this new cycle. And so here we're talking about 10 with the Pentacles, symbolizing a state of stability, security, and reaping the rewards of all your long-term efforts. And you could be, again, like the King of Pentacles is suggesting, experiencing a period of prosperity. Now, remember I said our definition of what it is to be prosperous and abundant is being stretched and challenged and evolving, because it's not just about the dollars and the cents, right? Finances, but relationships or your overall well-being to be abundantly blessed. And this card can encourage you to cherish your family of blood origin or chosen, or any loved ones in your midst. Enjoy the comforts of life and appreciate the legacy that you are building. Now, this is a midweek blessing. So it is a blessing that even when it does feel challenged by things such as financial setbacks or family conflicts, remember we talked about the aspects this week that are bringing in the potential for healing. And we're saying you've got to feel it to heal it. This brings me into a deep opportunity for ancestral work and connecting in with our bloodlines and these patterns, these beliefs, these ways of being that we are here to transmute, because our feeling it is enabling it to move. And so those of us who have been doing this work, are really in an amazing point in that family line for leaving quite the legacy that ripples in both directions. So, that could be something that really resonates for those who have been working with ancestral healing or feeling very connected to the past, the present, or the future generations, So wherever you may find yourself there, this could be highlighted through some of that wounding and the challenges that are coming up through some of those aspects, but it is actually a blessing because it's moving and you're moving it. And so when you do, the clearing happens. And with the clearing, you create space. You create space to let the universe know that you are ready to receive the abundance. You are ready to receive the dreams, the hopes, the wishes that you have been working so hard to manifest. But we're being shown a whole new way that we can have instant manifestation. And it sounds amazing, and it is, but it does require, of course, coming back to earth, right? And getting grounded with the nitty gritty and those things that, we are here to clear. So I think that in some ways, this picture is kind of coming forward where no matter how those challenges and disruptions show up in our lives, in our family dynamics, we can focus on creating for ourselves first a harmonious home environment right within our physical bodies as our home of our spirit, but then of course our physical surroundings in our homes as well. And that's interesting because like I said, I had shared some feng shui tips and things that come in with the new year energy as well. So that's all feeling connected to this sense of clearing in order to create space for the abundance, for the legacy that you are building that's moving in here now into this new chapter, this new season that's coming in. But we want to start that with the best foot forward. So now let's take a look at how we are growing for Thursday. Okay, Thursday is how we are growing, and we have another major card coming in as the Lovers. Beautiful. This is a gorgeous depiction of the Lovers, which has that as above, so below energy that's showing a choice point of duality. There's heaven and earth, right? And there's this energy of creating within and around us a beautiful and harmonious relationship with ... So yes, the Lovers card can represent love relationships, partnerships. But really the key is, yes, it is all around love of all kinds, of harmony, major choices, right? So here we see the Lovers standing together, hand in hand, with warmth shining above, right? The light that's shining down, which traditionally is Archangel Raphael, which is the Archangel of healing, which is bringing in harmony and balance in relationships. Remember, as we said, there is potent energy with the new moon coming in for healing and highlighting relationships. So, this can represent harmony, partnership, and the choices that we make in matters of the heart. The Lovers here represent love, attraction, the need to balance emotions, desires. So again, however that hits for you, of all kinds. This card can encourage you to listen to your inner voice, follow your passions, and align your actions with your values to make the really tough choices in life. And it also symbolizes integration of different aspects of yourself, embracing your own duality and finding balance in your life. The Lovers reminds us of the importance of connection, open communication, and nurturing relationships that bring joy and fulfillment. And that's interesting because it doesn't say to nurture relationships that are draining and depleting of our energy, right? So, that there you have it, that as we are restoring some balance and equilibrium and harmonizing, and I like to think of the traditional Lovers card can evoke some images of like the Garden of Eden. So thinking of it like our Valhalla, this place that we're creating in and around us. Remember, as we talk about our homes and the clearing, right? That this is bringing us into our spiritual gardens. This has been something I've been talking about a lot because, especially around a new moon, opportunities to plant seeds and set intentions, right? So what am I planting in my spiritual garden that I wish to see be fruitful, and multiply? So what do I want to see in abundance? Not the weeds, right? I don't want to see the prickly things that are, choking out the growth of the other plants and flowers in their midst. So this again, when we're cleaning up, when we're bringing balance, when the sun is shining a light on relationships, thinking about what we want to bring in more of and what we want to vibrate out of. Okay, so this could be highlighting again relationships of different kinds to really get clear on which ones we want to invest time and energy into, amongst other things, and which ones are not serving, that we have an opportunity to clear. Because that can bring in the disharmony, conflict, difficulties. This can bring up challenges and, having an opportunity to look at the past and allow that to inform the present and the future to see what I want to bring forward with me and what I do not. So there is this energy of making a choice. And so that can be some of those, tougher choices because, something is familiar or comfortable, or there's some sort of loyalty or time that keeps us tethered to people, places, and things that, on some level we know is no longer serving, but we've stayed. We've continued to have that tether, that connection, out of some form of loyalty, familiarity, comfort zone, what have you. So I do feel that being highlighted, and maybe that'll continue into when we talk about the Friday energy, which is the new moon in Aquarius. But we definitely have this being highlighted here for an opportunity to make some clear choices that are being highlighted here as it might pertain to our relationships and bringing in more harmony for what it is that we're wishing to create in our lives. So now let's take a look at New Moon Friday. Okay, we've got Friday coming in here for our new moon in Aquarius, and the Seven of Wands is bringing in this beautiful depiction. So the Seven of Wands is a card that can call for an opportunity for us to stand in our power, perhaps calling for determination, courage, standing your ground. So interesting, some of these keywords we've been hearing from the onset with ground in the context of the earth element, getting grounded, standing our ground. And yet look, she's leaping from one side to the next, where there could be an opportunity to really assert some boundaries or realign some of those boundaries. Because we could be finding that we are faced with obstacles that need to be overcome, and we could feel pressed to defend our beliefs or assert our boundaries and protect our interests. This is feeling aligned with friction in relationships or standing our ground because we have decided what's serving, what's not serving, and we're going to feel it to heal it. We're going to really look at, where we have an opportunity to trim away some of that excess. So, when we are in that position, again, the others who are in that orbit will naturally have a response. And sometimes it's surprising that you are standing your ground when maybe you typically don't, or speaking your truth when typically you stay silent, or, really saying that something that may have worked for you before, that you've never had an issue with in the past, actually is no longer working for you, or you'd like to do something a little differently or whatever. I'm seeing somebody just sort of changing something up that others may initially be sort of taken aback or surprised that you're saying so, or something like that, where there could be a need to sort of feeling pressed to defend how we feel about something, or what we need, or what's working or no longer working for us. And that calls for us to tap into our inner strength and to confront any opposition with determination and perseverance. Stay true to yourself and your convictions. Once again, not surprising, and we will bring this in right after, the energy of the Imbolc Oracle card we chose to represent a key message with this new moon in Aquarius, also going to be speaking to, along with the fire dog, redefine your boundaries. Yeah, actually, these are all feeling very connected. So we'll be rolling from one into the next, starting here, going with that new moon message, and then the Chinese New Year. So we're going to see what comes up in these two cards to support the notion of this Seven of Wands. But, it is a card that tells us to really take a pause maybe from some of those situations and circumstances to step away, but also lay some groundwork, maybe even some new boundaries that are necessary in order for us to be able to shift our perspective on our own personal growth and to have that focus there within rather than external pressures and things that may be depleting of our energy and taking us off our game, right? If I'm going to leap across between these two, I want to have my focus on. I want to be paying attention. I don't want to be distracted, okay? Because one misstep, right, seems a little precarious there. So there is this energy, and I mentioned that in some of the prior lunations, in fact, I think it was the full moon at the end of December, that I brought in this message about hocus focus. And I talked about the fact that the word hocus actually is like a distraction. So it's almost like those things, those sleight of hand, those things that can take our eye off the ball, distraction. Hocus, focus, right? So there's this, tomfoolery over here that's really taking us away from our focus. There's something, things that have been pulling us away from really where we wish for our attention, our energy to be trained, what we're wanting to look at, keeping our eye on the prize. And so I feel like that's what this is highlighting, that I have a hunch, you know, we may be building off of that message when it comes to the fire dog for sure, but also wanting to see what we've got coming in here with this beautiful weather divination in this card as well. So let's take a look at those two. But I really feel that for wrapping up our week with Friday, there is this energy of getting grounded and getting really clear, like down to earth with some practical steps in order to access our dreams and all that's possible. That's quite expansive and certainly up there, you know, anything but grounded. So finding that middle ground where we come into this place of balance and duality and harmony that is possible. And that's where we're headed. This was how we are growing, was where the lovers came in. So I feel that the path, you know, from here to here, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of this, right? There's going to be a little bit of leaps and bounds and things that we're going to move through, which is all a part of the growth that's coming in here through this energy that we are seeing displayed out for us with our collective cards this week. So as for the 5 tarot cards, as we wrap up Friday, once again, if you would like a personal tarot card pull here on Marco Polo, please let me know, and I will be on to send you a personal message with a card pull for you for this week that kind of factors in more specifically for you how this energy is showing up. But now let's take a look at our 2 supporting oracle messages that I believe is going to be really building off of this message that we've just come through. Let's take a look. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the Seasons of the Witch Imbolc oracle card we chose for the new moon in Aquarius coming in on Friday, February 9th. So this card has come forward as weather divination. The key words here are focus, paying attention, interpreting signs, trusting what you feel. So this card is saying that divination, if ever, rarely, if ever, delivers clear-cut signs. So it's up to you to learn how to piece things together, to tell the most accurate story. And this is something to be learned over time, of course, but it's also an innate gift that you must possess so you have the confidence to know what's right or wrong. This card suggests the need to watch your situation closely, knowing others are watching you just as intently. You are likely experiencing many moving parts that require a great deal of focus and attention. As I said, hocus focus, right? These moons have been bringing in this message to draw our attention to all of these signs and symbols that are available to us, like we started out talking here about. No matter what your divination tool of choice is, right? We're talking about astrology, we're talking about Chinese astrology, we're talking about numerology, the tarot, we're bringing in the oracle messages, and we're weaving in all of these different tools that you can connect with. So as you are doing that, you know, there's this message about piecing all of it together in a way that resonates for you. It's something that is to be learned over time, but it's also an innate gift that you must possess so that you have the confidence to know what's right or wrong for you, right? This card suggests the need to watch your situation closely, knowing others are watching you just as intently, right? So you're likely experiencing these many moving parts, great deal of focus and attention needed. Many things may fall through the cracks in the coming weeks if you aren't careful. You need to give a little extra effort for a time until things settle down. But just as with divination, you need some room to release perfectionism. Well, there it is. One of the sneaky peas, as I call them. So as we're talking about the clearing and clearing out and creating space and looking at what has to go, we are looking at this notion of perfectionism, which of course is actually a myth. So the guidance here is do your best, the best that you can, while understanding that mistakes are unavoidable. That's because they're necessary. They're a part of learning and growing. You know, there's what works and there's what doesn't work. And how do I find out what works and what doesn't work? I have to try things. I have to be willing to have the inspired notion using my tools. This is magician energy, right? Try them, have that willingness, but most importantly, understanding mistakes will occur, because that is how I learned. That worked, that didn't. Here's how it might be improved upon, right? So that's really the core of this idea of, yes, I have all of these different things for divination, but how am I going to use them, and how am I going to navigate the consequences of their use, right? What comes out on the other side when I work with them? So others will respect your efforts as long as you are honest and willing to acknowledge that you may not have all the answers. If you're worried about how your situation will play out, drawing this card means that there isn't a clear answer just yet. Trust that if something feels off, then it probably is. So, remembering new moon, there is no light, right? So there are some things that are yet to be revealed. And I know that there is a lot of connection going from this new moon in Aquarius to the full moon in Aquarius that will be happening in August. So, this time period, this is seeding what will be unfolding and ultimately illuminated with that full moon. So in terms of this cycle that we're entering into, some of those things may not yet be clear, right? So this is really about getting clear within yourself as to what you wish to bring in. And remembering, just kind of bringing it back to the name on this card, the weather divination, and this idea of we can't necessarily predict the weather. We can make our best guess, right, as to the weather, but we also can't control it. So we understand that, this notion that there's changes, like I was saying, friction in the force, right? So as we're collectively moving through these changes, there's going to be periods of instability. There's going to be periods of, tumultuous energies that you are best served to navigate using your tools and from the highest, clearest perspective as possible, right? That's why we do this. That's why we tune in to use these things as the tools that they are, not to predict the future or to tell you what's going to happen, but to rather use these signs and symbols that it's our job to piece together with our own intuition, our own inner knowing. And so, as you're kind of piecing together each of these cards that have come forward, we get this consistent message. This is card 42. 4 and 2 is a 6 energy. So just like the Lovers, just like our Thursday card of how we are growing, talking about bringing heaven to earth and really, being in our spiritual gardens and having a choice and acknowledging the duality. Here we are with this notion that says, I trust in what I feel. For what I feel are signs to pay mind to. You've got to feel it to heal it, right? So we're feeling it. We have a nudge, a notion, and this is another big thing that's been coming up. The more you come into your body, remember we talked about getting grounded, right? Our body gives us the answer long before we see often the results on the outside, especially when it comes to the people, places, and things that are not for us, or that are, we're best served to move in that direction. There's so much time we might spend hemming and hawing, and again, if those sneaky peas come in, perfectionism, people pleasing, procrastination. These things can have us spinning our wheels or playing small for way too long, when we had that sinking feeling in our gut from the get-go, right? Or we had the notion, or we got physically ill, or something happened on the physical level, something within our body that we missed or we ignored, right? And this is not about judgment or shame or blame at all, because if we chose to stay in a situation that really truly wasn't serving us, there is a reason. There was a lesson yet to be learned. There was something that was still playing out. Your higher self has got this. So this is really about getting connected in as much as possible. Again, really feeling that Lover's energy, heaven to earth, connecting in with these different aspects of yourself We have, yes, our ego self, our inner child, our higher self. So bringing those things into alignment, the vibration of 6 is about harmony, balance in those relationships. So again, just kind of seeing all the breadcrumbs laid out here, really some beautiful messages of the potential for claiming our independence, our freedom. It doesn't get much more Aquarian than this, so it just feels really spot on that this came forward as our oracle message with this new moon. Once again, I am going to be going much deeper into the new moon and how you can work with it and setting your intentions and seed planting in the empowerment pack. So if you'd like to join us, the link, I'll be sharing that. Just give me a shout and I'll get you in so you can be a part of the new moon reading I'll be doing, as well as getting the background on ways to work even more deeply with this lunation. Let's take a look now at our final oracle card. So here we have our Chinese 5 elements oracle message coming in to overlight and usher in the Chinese New Year happening on February 9th, 10th. So this is taking us Friday into Saturday. And as I mentioned, this is card 23. So that's bringing in that 5 vibration that I talked about. And it is Fire Dog. Redefine your boundaries. So let's take a look here. The message here from the oracle says, the elements of the Fire Dog pillar share a common theme, which is consistency. Yang fire is generous and never stops giving, like the sun never stops shining its light. The dog, a Yang earth sign, as a creature of habit, thrives on routines. Obstacles may stop the dog temporarily, but their keen intuition will quickly lead them to a different way around the blockage. Interesting, because this card is positioned as I sit here with that star card right behind it as that potential block or challenge this week. This card asks you to be consistent yet adaptable with your boundaries. 7 of Wands nod. Honoring them yet redefining them as you and your external environment evolve. Yes. For example, Taoists have used the solar calendar as part of their daily guidance since ancient times, adapting their rhythms and schedules as seasons change to be in harmony with the sun. Whether you've been too generous with your personal boundaries at the expense of your well-being, or you need to expand your boundaries and step out of your comfort zone, the Fire Dog appears as a message for you to explore the boundaries you've set. Say no to invitations when you need solitude, but open yourself up to new experiences when you feel blocked by life's circumstances. Find a safe space where you can step out effortlessly and retreat as needed. And just in another beautiful synchronicity, this deck gives us 2 messages at the end with each card, a message from heaven and a message from earth. So what have we been saying about the Lover's card? Bringing heaven to earth. So let's take a look at these dualistic messages. The message from heaven. Just like the light of the sun, the primary symbol of Yang fire, guides our daily life, let your energy level be your guide in managing your boundaries. Yes, this is what I was saying. Rest before you're depleted so you can spring into action when opportunities arise. And the message from Earth? The dog doesn't give up. Try different approaches to a problem and you will eventually find a solution. Dang, I was just saying this. So, like magician energy, what did I say? Keep trying, right? Using your tools. This worked, this didn't. This is how we make magic. Practical magic. Earth magic, right? This is what I said. It sounds amazing, right? The challenges of the star is like redefining what we understood to be the way to manifest things in our life and what it is to be abundant and what it is to have all of our wishes come true and how that happens, and as we are challenged, 5 energy, right? Challenged to rewrite the script on that or understand how we look at energy, right? This depletes my energy. This invigorates my energy, and using that as a guide. So these are all so connected. It's really, really cool. Never gets old to see how all of these little breadcrumbs are falling, coming together into this energy, this new energy that we're stepping into. So this is actually a really powerful week for us to be harnessing all of this. I'm going to bring up the picture of all of our cards because I really feel like they're so connected. I just want you to take a look at each of them again. So here, as we just reflect over what each of these are telling us, again, it's really beautiful because the heavy pentacles are telling us about practical, material, earthbound energy. But then we have this heaven and earth energy, and we have the star energy coming in, which is all bringing us up into the heavens, bringing us up into the ethers of what is possible in the universe. But then yet there's this really practical, it's kind of cool because, doing that jump from one side to the other is almost like representing to us that straddle that we do of both, as above, so below, like having to do all the practical things and, like I said, make the dollars and cents and pay the bills and take care of all of those physical, tangible needs, but also having these big dreams and believing in what's possible and the idea that it can be magic in a most practical and down-to-earth way. And that, these things are all coming up to show us new perspectives of ways that we can look at things we've been looking at for a long time, but we've been looking at it from a particular vantage point, a particular perspective, and that's not all there is. And we're just opening up to the idea that maybe, just maybe, the way that we've always known it to be, that we've always seen it, the game that we've been playing, the belief systems that we've been operating off of, whatever it is, has served its purpose, but it is no longer serving. And so we have this opportunity, we're on this precipice of bringing in these changes, which sounds humongous, right? That sounds like massive, because it is. But it's also as minuscule and simple as the little steps that we each take in our lives each and every day. So we can take these big concepts and these big ideas and bring them down to earth and ground them into practical steps that we can take. And we saw some of those things being outlined with the fire dog when it talks about say no to invitations when you need solitude. Be open. Open yourself up to new experiences. If you feel blocked by life's circumstances, right? Find a safe space where you can step out effortlessly and retreat as needed. So these are things we can endeavor to create in our environments. Once again, we're brought back into the clearing, right? Clearing out and making space to create just what it is that we can thrive from. So, that gives us a good place to start. Once again, if you would like a personal card pull this week, let me know. If you want in on the new moon reading this week, also let me know, because remember, it's for the whole month. You'll get not one, not two, but 3 readings. So if you want to get in on the empowerment pack, let me know. Okay, guys, thanks so much. Wishing you a beautiful week ahead, and we shall talk soon. Take good care.